It is 6 o'clock. It is time to call the Sherwood City Council meeting to order. At this time, I would like to ask Robert Campbell to come forward and lead us in our prayer, please.
Let's pray. Lord Jesus, we love you. Bless you. Thank you for your love, for your mercy, and for your goodness. We're at this council meeting tonight. We ask you to touch, give wisdom and guidance to all the council members, that you help them to lead this city, Lord, ways that it should go, and ask us as city employees and city of Sherwood residents to have an open mind and understanding of what goes on here tonight. We ask above all your blessings in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll, please.
Brooks.
Here.
Harmon.
Here.
Lilly.
Here.
McMahon.
Here.
Aye. Keplinger.
Here.
Sanders.
Here.
Williams.
Here. Approval of minutes of the regular meeting on January 22nd, 2018 as transcribed.
Move for the adoption of the minutes.
Second.
McMahon.
Aye.
Lilly.
Aye.
Harmon.
Aye.
Brooks. Aye. Williams.
Aye.
Keplinger.
Aye.
Sanders.
Aye.
You have in your packets January 2018 financials. Are there any questions, any discussion? Hearing none.
Is there a motion to waive the reading requirement?
So moved.
Second.
McMahon.
Aye.
Lilly.
Aye.
Harmon.
Aye.
Brooks. Aye. Williams.
Aye.
Keplinger. Sanders.
Aye.
We're going to move to presentation to another time. Next item on the agenda, committees and/or commissions, Advertising and Promotion Commission.
We do have an ordinance on here, but before that, just want to make sure if anyone had any questions on anything else that was on the agenda or on the minutes from the meeting. Otherwise, we will meet as scheduled next Wednesday at 3 p.m.
An ordinance appropriating funds from the Advertising and Promotion Commission budget for the purchase of a display for the Trail of Lights, waiving competitive bidding, and for other purposes.
Do we have any questions?
Move for the adoption of the ordinance.
Second. McMahon.
Aye.
Lilly.
Aye.
Harmon.
Aye.
Brooks. Aye. Williams.
Aye.
Keplinger.
Aye.
Sanders.
Aye.
Civil Service Commission. Parks and Recreation Committee.
We were scheduled to meet in February, but we didn't have a quorum, so that meeting will move to March, second Monday in March, 6 p.m., Bill Harmon Rec Center, Magnolia Room.
Personnel Committee.
We did not meet due to the flu bug hitting us pretty hard, so but we will meet March the 1st. That's this Thursday at 5 o'clock. We do have something on the agenda.
Bill Harmon Rec Center. Thank you.
Yes.
Next item on agenda, Planning Commission.
A resolution by the Sherwood City Council adopting the city's planning area boundaries as adopted by the Sherwood Planning Commission.
Okay, I will ask Rob Middleton. He has some comments and explanation that he would like to share with the council.
Understand we have a map video presentation.
There's also copies, I believe, the same.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
To the audience.
Well, the commission is looking forward to this planning exercise we're about to undertake this year, something that we have not done for the last 30 years, roughly. And in order to get started, the first thing that the commission has to do, especially when we're planning basically citywide, is to establish the area for which we're going to undertake planning. And that's particularly important in case we decide to undertake any planning outside the city limits. By state law, every city in the state has a territorial jurisdiction. In Sherwood's case, that's 1 mile or halfway to the next city's territorial jurisdiction, whichever's less. And within that territorial jurisdiction, we can pick an area that we choose to undertake planning activities for. Now, the reason that's important is because once we establish a planning area boundary, we will undertake planning for that area, even though it's not in the city, and that is an area in which some regulations can be enforced by the city.
Right.
When we looked at this, we first asked MetroPlan, I'll back up, the last time the territorial or the boundary was established by the Planning Commission, state law said that you could go 5 miles out. The legislature took a dim view of that because a lot of small cities were tripling, quadrupling, and quintupling their area. And so now it's not more than 1 mile. North Little Rock can go 2 miles. Little Rock can go 3 miles outside the city. And so we had to change that planning area boundary no matter what. What MetroPlan did is that had not changed inside Pulaski County for a number of years. So we asked MetroPlan to use their software to actually draw what that planning area territorial jurisdiction would be for Sherwood. And what you see up on the screen there, the dashed purple line, that is the planning area for Sherwood. The only place where it really goes a full mile beyond the current city limits is north by northwest. Where you see it curved in other directions, that's because that's halfway to North Little Rock and Jacksonville. Notice this in this little neighborhood right in here off Loop Road, that literally is split between North Little Rock and Sherwood. We're not going to go in there. And finally, if I can get this to work, there is an area down to the south and east of the city. Now, what the Planning Commission studied this and determined that we didn't want to go all the way as far as we possibly could. That was more than necessary. So the state law says that the Planning Commission must adopt this planning area boundary. So the boundary that we have selected is inside that territorial jurisdiction. We did not go to the full extent, partly because it's important to be able to define the area in legal terms, because we have to record it with the clerk, the county recorder, and the county planning board, so that when we exercise subdivision regulations outside the city limits, they can tell by a legal description whether that subdivision is within our jurisdiction. So this is the area that we adopted. We did not adopt anything to the southeast part of the city. Our sense was that area tends to orient more towards North Little Rock than it does to Sherwood. Our city limits basically goes to Highway 161. We don't see any need for us to be going any further in that direction. And our sense at this point, even though it's not required, it would be useful, helpful, appropriate, supportive if the city council agreed and supported the area the planning commission adopted. Do you have any questions?
I'm sorry, Rob, one question I do have for you. In as far as distance and actually locale to get it in my mind where this is, the far side, where are we talking about there? Is that past the airbase, to the airbase?
No, it's not that far.
Not that far out?
How populated is this area, Rob?
There is some development, but for the most part, it's very scattered, very rural. And that's anything past the area that we've picked is so rural that it's stretching it to go that far.
So the plan is that for development, then we would have some say on what it looked like.
Yeah, in our mind, this is the area that's most likely to develop in the next 10 to 20 years and most likely to be of interest to the city, that is most likely at some point to want to come in. The whole point of having exercise subdivision regulations beyond the city limits is that when subdivisions are developed and at some point in time, if they're not developed properly and they want to come into the city to benefit from what the city can offer them, what we don't want are substandard developments coming in. So if we enforce the subdivision regulations in the area that's adjoining the current city limits and they come in, it's not a loss for the city.
You indicated at the beginning of your description that there was a limit to the subdivision rules and regulations that can be applied within this Sherwood planning area. Can you give an explanation of what that limit is?
The limit is to the planning area boundary.
I mean, you indicated there was a limit to the rules that we can apply in it. Can we apply our entire subdivision rules and regulations there, or do certain of them apply?
We can apply the subdivision regulations, but we cannot apply it to something.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Middleton.
I make a motion for the adoption of the resolution.
Second.
McMahon,
Aye.
Lilly,
Aye.
Harmon,
Aye.
Brooks,
Aye.
Williams,
Aye.
Keplinger, Sanders.
Aye.
A resolution in support of the city planner consultant to proceed with the proposed planning process. This is we come from last month's presentation that Mr. Walden presented in terms of the steps he wanted to take to move forward in the city's planning plan.
I move for the adoption.
Second.
McMahon,
Aye.
Lilly,
Aye.
Harmon,
Aye.
Brooks,
Aye.
Williams,
Aye.
Keplinger, Sanders.
Aye.
Councilmember Sanders, I believe you have a motion with respect to item C under Planning Commission business.
Yes, at this time, the applicant would like to have this tabled.
Second.
McMahon,
Aye.
Lilly,
Aye.
Harmon.
Aye.
Aye. Brooks. Aye. Williams.
Aye.
Keplinger. Sanders.
Aye.
Senior Citizens Committee. Sewer Committee.
I'd like to make a motion to suspend the rules.
Second.
McMahon,
Aye.
Lilly,
Aye.
Harmon.
Aye.
Brooks.
Aye.
Williams.
Aye.
Keplinger. Sanders.
Aye.
A resolution appointing Beverly McKay to serve on the Sherwood Sewer Committee. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of Sherwood, Arkansas, that the following person is appointed to serve on the Sherwood Sewer Committee for the term as set forth. Beverly McKay, term to expire 12/31/2023.
To adopt the resolution.
Second.
McMahon,
Aye.
Lilly,
Aye.
Harmon.
Aye.
Brooks.
Aye.
Williams.
Aye.
Keplinger. Sanders.
Aye.
I believe Ms. McKay is in the audience. If you'll just wave, appreciate your
Okay,
acceptance of this. Thank you. Street Committee.
Street Committee did meet. Minutes are in your packet. If anyone has any questions, comments? None. So we will meet the second Thursday of March as we normally do at the Bill Harmon Rec Center.
Thank you.
An ordinance providing for the levy of a 1/4% sales and use tax within the city of Sherwood, Arkansas to provide support for the city's general fund and prescribing other matters pertaining thereto.
I think we're ready to act on this, so I would move for the adoption of the ordinance.
Second.
McMahon,
Aye.
Lilly,
Aye.
Harmon.
Aye.
Brooks.
Aye.
Williams.
Aye.
Keplinger.
Aye.
Sanders.
Aye.
An ordinance calling a special election in the city of Sherwood, Arkansas on the question of levying a citywide 1/4% sales and use tax within the city of Sherwood, Arkansas to provide support for the city's general fund and prescribing other matters pertaining thereto.
I move for the adoption of the ordinance.
McMahon,
Aye.
Lilly,
Aye.
Harmon.
Aye.
Brooks.
Aye.
Williams.
Aye.
Keplinger.
Aye.
Sanders.
Aye.
An ordinance calling a special election in the city of Sherwood, Arkansas on the question of issuing bonds under Amendment Number 62 to the Constitution of the state of Arkansas for the purpose of financing the cost of capital improvements, extensions, and betterments to the city's street and drainage systems, levying a 3/4 and 1% sales and use tax for the purpose of retiring such bonds and prescribing other matters pertaining thereto.
Move for the adoption.
Second.
McMahon,
Aye.
Lilly,
Aye.
Harmon,
Aye.
Brooks,
Aye.
Williams,
Aye.
Keplinger,
Aye.
Sanders.
Aye.
An ordinance repealing ordinance number 1570 and ordinance number 1904 and for other purposes.
It's my understanding from Municipal League that we're going to repeal these, and then when they find a better language of how to write these, we'll use something along those lines. Is that right?
Yes.
Cobb? Thank you.
Move for the adoption.
Second.
McMahon,
Aye.
Lilly,
Aye.
Harmon,
Aye.
Brooks,
Aye.
Williams,
Aye.
Keplinger,
Aye.
Sanders.
Aye.
A resolution authorizing the mayor to sign an application for CDBG funds.
So move.
Second.
McMahon,
Aye.
Lilly,
Aye.
Harmon,
Aye.
Brooks,
Aye.
Williams,
Aye.
Keplinger,
Aye.
Sanders.
Aye. A resolution designating nonprofit agency as CDBG grant administrator.
Move for adoption.
Second.
McMahon,
Aye.
Lilly,
Aye.
Harmon,
Aye.
Brooks,
Aye.
Williams,
Aye.
Keplinger,
Aye.
Sanders.
Aye. Members of the council, subsequent to the preparation of the agenda, it was determined that item 15 was unnecessary, having been addressed at an earlier council meeting back in 2010, so we will not need to take up item 15. Mayor, that is the agenda.
Right. Item 16, is there any old business to come before the council? Any new business?
I do have one question. No, probably under old business. What is the status of our pond over here? Other than being full of water.
Rain.
My understanding, if I can explain it, because I'm not an engineer, but when they got to the construction under the bridge, the concrete spillway, that it was much larger project than anticipated. When they got it uncovered, they had to go back for some engineering. And so when that was finally completed, then the rain caught them. So the good news is we're paying by the project, not the hour.
Good enough.
But yeah, I can't go to Walmart and ask about the pond. Thank you for bringing that up. In the way of announcements, Sherwood Animal Shelter has numerous events. March 12th to 14th, Spring Forward free adoption event. St. Patrick's Day, March 17th, free adoption with donation of green dog or cat toy. National Puppy Day, March 23rd, all puppies free with their proof application. Annual Pet Fair and fundraiser will be Saturday, April 7th, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Sherwood Forest. Sherwood Citizens Police Academy and Alumni Association on the border will donate 20% of your ticket on the following dates, and those are all listed there. Papa Murphy's will also donate several dates as listed. Citizens Police Academy Alumni Association will have a pancake breakfast fundraiser on Saturday, March the 10th, 2018, from 8 to 11 a.m. at Sherwood Forest. Proceeds to benefit SCPAAA K-9 campaign for K-9 officer. And those of you who are probably familiar, they've purchased, we have a new dog, and they've been very active in that. And they're raising funds to pay for that dog in its entirety. So they're probably here tonight, can sell you some tickets. 6 for $30 or $7 a piece, I think. So just go ahead and get you 30 of them and $30 worth and give some away. Amy Sanders Library Grand Opening will be Saturday, March 10th, 2018 at 10 o'clock. Miss Amy, you want to stand and take a bow for that? Let's give her a hand.
It is their library, they wanted it, it's here, and I think they can see their taxes in action.
Absolutely. Well, I have to say, Miss Amy spearheaded that campaign, so she's certainly done a great job with that, and everybody that's supported her. I have no other announcements.
Motion to adjourn.